welcome to Real Metal. I am your host, Mark. We're back after a long hiatus. My panel, introduce yourselves.
I'm JP. Hi, everybody.
I'm Ben. I'm James. Cheers.
And this time around, we talked about 1987's The River's Edge. And we got, someone asked us to cover this like 3 or 4 years ago. And we're finally getting around to it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I'm sure you're still watching.
If you're not dead.
Okay, JP, had you seen this film before?
No, I sort of thought I had, but then after watching it, no, I realized no, I was thinking of something else.
Ben, first time viewing?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we talked about it for quite a while now.
Yes.
And recently saw the trailer and was like, okay, this looks pretty good.
Okay.
I have not seen it, and it was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I was the first one. I'd seen this before. I picked it up to watch on this show, and then just watched it randomly several years ago. So this is my first time rewatching it in quite a while. Who wants to synopsize this one?
JP?
That's democracy rules, I guess. All right, River's Edge is a snapshot of Middle America in the 80s, where you have some young classmates, and one of the classmates murders his girlfriend. And then the movie continues to unravel as some of the characters decide if they want to conceal the crime, other people just want to help reveal the killer, and then they get into arguments, as well as there's an undercurrent of arguing with other characters, such as Dennis Hopper's character, who float in and out of the film, and then it all comes to a semi-climactic finale.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the actors in there. There's a young Keanu Reeves, the internet's favorite celebrity right now.
He's so dreamy. Isn't he, guys?
He does no wrong.
This is a very early film for him, though. It was 1987, so when did Bill and Ted come out?
He did, there's this, he was in Parenthood with Steve Martin in a kind of minor role, and Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
So that's, it's,
Right around the same time frame.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Late 80s, early 90s. Right? I think Bill and Ted was in 1990, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
I don't think it's 1980s. I think it's
I thought it was 89, maybe
late
88,
80s,
89, maybe. I don't know, but so yeah, a very young Keanu Reeves in there. We also had Dennis Hopper, not so young Dennis Hopper, but not as old as he is now.
Amazing.
And he's full Hopper.
Yeah.
And also Crispin Glover. Friday 13th Part 4 is Crispin Glover.
Back to the Future.
And Back to the Future.
What?
I don't remember which one he was in. The first one?
Yeah, he was in the first Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And he sued him for the second one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
It's a whole other story. I don't know, where do we want to start with this?
I just want to say that JP has to do all of the synopsis from now on.
Yeah.
Because that was coherent and brilliant.
Yeah, it was
Thank
very
you very
concise.
I just watched it. It was easy to remember what happened.
Not for me.
All right, so it starts off.
Initial impressions, I guess.
I suppose. I really enjoyed this film. It can, like we talked earlier before we started shooting, that it has some pacing issues. It can get a little bit slow. It's about a crime that's committed and how these people react to it. So, like, they just go about their daily lives. It's, so I guess that part can be a little mundane, but I still found it compelling. I don't know. What do you think?
And compared to the material we usually look at, this was probably the most realistic and slow-paced drama. No sex, no violence, no zombies. It was just a straight-up crime drama.
Yeah.
Keanu got laid.
He did.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
right, he did. He did.
I forgot. Good save.
There was
Good save.
definitely nudity.
Yeah.
Most of the nudity was from a dead body, but I mean, there was nudity.
I mean, the film's played very straight. It's fairly serious. The unserious tones of it are not on purpose.
Yeah, I think Crispin Glover might have been in a different movie than everybody else.
Yeah, yeah, and this is something we brought up quite a bit, right? That it kind of felt that maybe he was miscast. Crispin Glover's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing at being Crispin Glover.
Yes.
Whether it's Friday the 13th, Willard, Back to the Future.
He seems like a very weird character that all the other characters in the movie rallied around. Like that seemed
agreed.
kind of weird to me.
Yeah, whereas I could believe it more if it was Keanu Reeves or someone.
Yeah, well, he was the de facto leader of the group that they all followed. Even one of the women in the cast mentioned that, like, why do we follow this guy? And would do whatever he says. and he's hard to take as someone you would follow anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had this sort of weird twitchy intensity about him that was sort of off-putting.
Yeah, man, it's
But
like
you didn't
His
find
delivery on everything.
and you didn't find out until the very end of the movie why he was like that.
Yeah. We kind of mentioned that showing drug use would help mold that character.
yeah.
We should talk about the kid, Keanu Reeves' younger brother.
Oh,
Shit
like the
disturber.
B plot, I guess, really to the whole thing was
He's
his
in the
brother.
opening of the film.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, he has a separate story than everyone else, sort of thing. It's connected, of course.
Yeah, but it's funny because it's the first thing you see.
Yeah.
And then it's actually an interesting story, just kind of how the kid's following them around, wants to be like them. He's involved with the killer
Yeah.
from almost, immediately.
Yeah, like when the film opens, we see this kid dropping a doll into the river, and then it kind of pans over to see our I don't know, antagonist, the killer, with the naked dead body of the girl, and he sees it.
He's howling.
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
yeah, he's a little.
He's good.
Unstable.
John, the little brother, Tim,
Yeah,
because I remember the girlfriend's dad was called Jim, and I was like,
Yeah.
Tim, that's kind of funny. But yeah, Tim, he was really good. Like he really got the character right. And it's kind of just annoying tag along younger brother.
yes, with a Def Leppard shirt on the entire time.
Yeah, but streetwise,
Yeah.
Oh, just a little
stealing
shit.
cars.
Just a little shit.
Shit
Drugs.
stuff, right? Totally.
Well, it's,
Totally a bad kid.
yeah, it's Keanu Reeves' brother in it. They have this weird family dynamic where it's him, his brother, and his even younger sister, their mother, and her
Stepdad,
boyfriend.
I
Yeah,
guess.
stepdad.
boyfriend.
I wouldn't even say stepdad. He's just the boyfriend.
Just the boyfriend.
He
Yeah.
has no interaction with
Just
her.
the guy.
Just mouths off.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's. Well, let's talk about how people react to the murder. So, like, the murder happens. They go back to school. The guy that killed the girl shows up and says, "Oh, where is she? Oh, I killed her." He just says that.
Very open about it.
Yeah.
No one believes him.
No one believes him, but then he takes them all to see it.
And they react about how we're reacting right now.
Yeah, blasé,
Yeah.
indifference.
There's no shocked reactions, especially from the girls.
Yeah.
I expected a scream, a run.
Yeah.
Something.
Actually,
Crispin.
do you know who did react?
Huh.
The guy that brought them there in his truck.
Yes.
Yeah.
He reacted.
He reacted. Crispin Glover poked her with a stick.
Well, that's classic. Do you want to go poke a dead body in the swamp with a stick? I mean, that's in a lot of movies and books. That's what you do.
True.
Kind of got weird Stand By Me vibes. Just not wholesome or coming of age at all. Well, the characters themselves as well are, 80s heavy metal kids, so fringe of society. So that kind of outcast look amongst society. So maybe it's a play on how they react is how they feel in society. We kind of got into this, right?
Yeah, like that's what I was trying to think. I was trying to figure out exactly what the writer was trying to say with that. Was it a comment on the empathy of these kids? Just the lack of caring about anything? Because it has this teacher who's a hippie, and like Keanu's mother's a hippie too. There's lots to talk about pot and stuff like that, and how they really tried to do something to change society, and then this generation just empathetic.
Lackadaisical.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And the grading of society is brought up more than once.
Yes.
From those adults, from the adults'
Yeah.
perspective. They don't feature very much in the film. Maybe featuring them a bit more would have had that as actual characters rather than just certain scenes that are in.
Which is like I think it was a thing that you saw in the 90s and stuff like that more so than the 80s, like with Generation X and stuff like that, and just in media at the time, just not giving a fuck.
Kurt Cobain,
Well,
right?
Yeah.
There's also this, in my mind, a parallel between the story of Varg, right? And
Yeah.
the black metal scenario where...
So now you got to be careful mentioning Varg because the internet will try and fucking kill me again.
Oh, that's right. That's right. we can't talk about black metal. We get too upset. But same sort of thing. Someone dies in a gruesome way, and then everyone's like, kind of, well, we'll take some pictures, or I'm going to tell the people
Yeah.
about it. No one really does anything about it for a long time. It's just like, it's just another body, and they're just, and that's the real life murders didn't happen that 5 years later than when this was filmed. Like 87 to 92. So it's this whole maybe perspective on how youth are just so alienated and disenfranchised and all those big buzzwords that people throw around. It's like they just don't give a damn. It's like, it's just a body.
How long did the movie play out? Like days?
Over 2 days, I think.
2 days.
2 days?
The
Yeah.
first day, was from the opening where the kid throws a doll in and sees the body with the killer. They go to school, he takes them there, and then Crispin Glover's all about going to bury the body. That's one day.
Yeah.
Then we got the next day following.
Yeah.
And then that rolls into the next night, right? Because the
It
kid...
seems like it's
half,
more than, it
two
seems
and a
like
half,
it's more than
maybe.
more than a few days.
I thought it was just 1 2 because the little kid character is wearing that same shirt the
And he
entire
ends
time.
up...
But you also remember he never came home either night. There's 2 times the
So
mother
2.5
said she
days.
didn't.
So day 3.
Yeah, so because the second night is the night he ended up at Fex, Dennis Hopper. It wasn't the first night, it was the second night he ended up there. And then you got the day after, because you're right, because she mentions it's midnight and all that.
Yeah.
She mentions it twice that he hasn't been home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking at 2.5 days.
Because I just find it weird that they didn't play up any kind of reaction from the family of the victim. Nothing. Absolutely nothing from that side. And then it was just a newspaper headline.
Not even a headline.
It's
No,
Or not even a
it was
headline.
on
It was
that
bottom of the
page.
page.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
For a small town, that's kind of crazy.
yeah. It was just weird how everyone reacted to the killing. The killer himself
Well,
was nonplussed by it.
The weirdest reaction was when, spoiler alert, when they find the killer's body, and they're reacting way more of an emotional curve than when they saw the first body of his victim, which I thought weird. They're reacting to the murder of the murderer, but not of the victim.
Was it so much a they, or was it just Crispin Glover?
Just Crispin Glover.
He really reacted,
Yeah.
because he felt like they had a connection which didn't seem to be there. But you hit on something with the victim, the actual victim. We know nothing about her. We never see her family.
No,
You never see anything.
There was only one little clip of her being alive in the movie, and that was when,
As he's killing her.
As
that was
showing
it.
the killing.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then there was the one picture of the 3 girls.
Which is weird because as he's killing her, it cuts back to Keanu Reeves' old face.
Having sex.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like, he's
That's
like,
sex and death, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Life
Just,
and death, yeah, right? Yeah.
it was just off-putting, really. It seemed orgasmic for both of them.
Well, I just recently watched Midsummer, so it was like, you know how they all feel each other's pain and stuff like that. It kind of seemed like that. Like they're having sex, the other shit's going on. He's feeling it while it's going on. It just felt like that in my head.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely parallel. Absolutely flashing back and
I
forth.
found some weird parallels to Twin Peaks as well, mainly
Yeah.
because of the body and everything and where it was, but it's like the opposite world to it.
Yeah.
There is no reaction. You know, in Twin Peaks, you see lots of aspects of it. The family, you see how it affects the community. You see the police. We didn't see any of that. I mean, we saw the police detective like once or twice, but
Yeah.
they didn't really have anything, and they weren't. You actually never saw their perspective. You didn't follow them.
No.
You only followed your main characters.
Yeah.
And it is especially weird that we didn't get any background on the victim. Not even to begin with.
No, I think that
That's
removes
maybe
us
why.
emotionally from her too. I
There's
suppose.
no empathy. It's
Yeah.
like just we have
She's
no
a
connection to
body.
this character, just
Yeah.
a body, just a
That's-
prop. Yeah.
I've forgotten her name.
Yeah. They mentioned it a couple of times. One of the girls had a picture with her, and that was about it. Like, and the teacher freaks out at him at the
Yeah.
end. It's like, why are you not?
Yeah, why do you guys care?
Yeah, why do
Your
you care?
classmates
So this is a
dead.
focal point then.
Yeah.
The movie is aware of this.
Yes.
That's what's interesting. I do want to hand it as well while we're on the subject of her. Holy crap, does she spend a lot of time naked? And they didn't use dummies.
Yeah.
When she was rolled into the water, that's not a dummy. When she was dragged out of the water, that was
Yeah.
her again, because you could tell from the way the body moved.
Yeah. So cheers to her for spending a lot of shooting days naked.
I mean, it might have just been one day
Yeah.
doing all those shots.
Maybe.
But
Cold.
I want to know what class those kids were taking. Because their hippie teacher is just going off on rants every time that they show in the classroom. And it's not any kind of subject matter.
No one has any books or anything. They're just kind of sitting there and lecturing.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
like one guy says something, the other guy tells him,
Shut up, Kevin.
Fuck off, Kevin.
and to point up a fundamental moral breakdown in society, but it doesn't really affect us, does it?
That's a reprehensible attitude.
Just shut up, Kevin!
So So apparently you're not. It's not a debate class.
No.
Because if you're sensitive in any way, in fact, in this movie, if you're sensitive in any way, you're told to fuck off.
Yeah, if you bring up anything really, poor old Kevin is a little nerdy guy who we're not introduced to outside of this at all.
Fuck nerdy. He's just normal.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So let's bring up the second story in this movie,
All right.
the Keanu and his brother.
Their
Because
interactions.
it kind of intermingles with the main plot line, but it's its own animal.
Yeah, alright, so...
That's right. We see the possible descent of the younger brother.
Yeah.
You know, getting mixed up, like we said earlier, with booze and drugs and crime, and
The family
this kid's
issues.
going to be the next generation of just soulless, heartless, perhaps killer, right?
Didn't you find it weird that the little brother looked up to John, but he didn't look up to his older brother?
It's because the
That
older
was
brother
the thing.
pounded him.
Yeah, because clearly they have a very sibling relationship, unfortunately. But it was weird that he looked up to John and like got in John's car and everything.
Yeah.
But then when his brother, he dresses just like his brother. And when you have a younger brother, you have that kind of that mirrored image sometimes, especially if you're only 5 or 6 years apart or something like that. But there was nothing there. Like he didn't seem to like him.
Well, there was a lot of family issues. It seemed like there was a lot of issues between the mother kind of losing her shit and not knowing how to deal with the situation after the father leaves, and the kids just caught in the middle.
You said it.
Yeah, and
Middle child syndrome.
yeah, middle child syndrome. I don't blame her too. I mean, raising 3 kids and they're all doing whatever the heck they want. She's trying to keep it together.
The
It'd be tough
father-in-law
for
doesn't
everybody.
give a shit.
Yeah.
No, he's just
The
a voice for
stepfather-
most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, they have a fight, a physical fight at one point. And
Yeah, because he threw the doll in the river,
Yes.
and then he just walks in. The girl, his sister, is crying because they can't find her doll, and he just says, "I killed her."
Kind of cruelty, right?
Yeah.
Cruelty,
Yeah.
very open cruelty, much like John just going in and going, I killed her. Very open about
Yeah.
the cruelty, and
she puts up a
No
little
denial.
cross and stuff like that, and he destroys that.
he destroys that as well.
And I think he destroys that as when Keanu actually beats him up. Because he's dealing with all this shit about, he's the one that called the cops and told him about the body and stuff like that, so he's actually dealing with things too, and I think that might be part of it. And his brother freaks out, goes and finds a gun, and then we get that scene at the end where he points a gun at his own brother.
And we brought this up while we were watching it. The pacing and style of the film felt like a true crime story, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
It didn't feel like it felt like it was something based off of a real incident, whether or not, because a lot of the time you're just following people's movements after the fact. Nothing major happens, but it feels like that realism because real crime is quite mundane.
Yeah.
Movies are the ones that jazz it up.
Yeah, I mean, they go see the body, and then then they go to the arcade. Keanu doesn't. He stays home. He's the only one that doesn't react normally and go about his daily routine. Right? So like it's...
That's because he's the best guy ever.
Oh,
He's the one.
I wanted to talk a bit about the metal content of this, since it is real metal.
yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of tangential. It's their metalheads. Metal isn't a theme in the movie, but it exists. They listen to metal. They have metal
Underlying
shirts.
theme.
Yeah.
The reaction from the police officers and that.
Yeah.
Satanic panic.
Yeah.
A lot of us have been treated that way by cops when we're growing up.
And I thought for the time, the portrayal of metalheads was a little more realistic, because sometimes they're just portrayed, we've talked about this in many of these episodes,
Yes.
as really dumb and stereotyped and played up, and it's like they just wore jeans and a band shirt and maybe a vest. That's how people dressed. It wasn't, like a bandana around the leg and a headband and a shark tooth earring or something like this and fake tattoos. It was like these are just normal kind of ragged kids, and they like metal and drinking beer and smoking pot, and so it was a relatively realistic portrayal of
What
just
came
normal.
back to the true crime part?
Yeah.
Because they really did feel real.
Yeah.
They really did just feel like real kids in a small town.
And of course, we had to hear some Slayer music as well.
Lots of Slayer.
Yeah.
Fate's Warning, Hell's Eve, so Metal Blade soundtrack, I think.
Yes.
3 bands
Yeah.
on Metal Blade, so maybe.
Let's talk about Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was pretty fun in the movie.
he's wonderful.
He had a friend.
He did have a girlfriend.
What was her name?
God knows.
Ellen.
Eva?
Ellen. Was it Ellie?
Where
Ellen.
did I get Eva from?
I don't know.
Magdalene.
He had a sex doll as his love interest.
He just chews up his scenes.
Yes.
Because he's just him. And again, kind of like Crispin Glover. Crispin Glover, no matter what he does, is just him.
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper had that same thing. Where, like Jack Nicholson, you get him in something, he's a brilliant actor, but all he's got to bring is himself to the role.
Yeah, for sure.
He just adds himself in and molds it.
Yeah.
There's that part where he's dancing with the sex doll, and our murderer's looking through the window at him. And Dennis Hopper, I don't know if he notices him or not, but he just doesn't give a shit. He just keeps on dancing.
And then they go on the beer run, and he brings the doll.
Yeah, brings the doll in the liquor store.
Walks in with the doll under his arm.
Our antagonist is pointing a gun at the clerk, and Dennis Hopper he's asking about
Budweiser cans.
Budweiser and bottles. He was like, "How many bottles?" But he's the creepy old drug dealer guy, which a lot of us had that creepy old drug dealer guy.
I was talking about mine today. He had one leg, didn't go for the Vietnam angle.
I
know,
thought
We thought that might come.
Yeah, I
was
thought it might be
But
it's a flashback PSTD or whatever the heck it's called.
PTSD.
He kind of turns into an unsung hero at the end of the movie, though.
True, yeah.
In a weird sort of way, yeah.
Yeah, he killed a woman. He tells that he killed a woman, but he loved her. And then when him and our antagonist are having this heart-to-heart down by the river, and he says he didn't feel anything for her at all.
I even got the vibe for a moment that his story wasn't real.
Yeah.
When the killer was telling him how it felt, and
Yeah.
how alive he felt, and when he looked back at him and said, "You know what I mean?" And he said, "No."
Yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
he didn't do it.
Very likely.
We can't say that. We can't either way. That wasn't brought up again.
Maybe, but then he did kill, and then he says at the end of it, he says, sometimes you need to kill someone. So, and he didn't revel in it, he wasn't happy about it.
But that could be a Vietnam War vet angle, too.
But it's not, because
Yeah.
he lost his leg in a car
Oh,
accident.
yeah,
bike-
the
bike accident.
accident.
And then the ambulance ran over the leg.
That should have been a flashback. That
Yes,
would have been
that
awesome.
would have been great. Yeah, that's one of those things, like, show us, don't tell us.
That's something else that plays into this. The feel of it, the look of it. It clearly didn't have a huge budget.
No.
It was definitely done on a slightly independent budget. That didn't hinder it at all.
No.
Agreed.
No, it was a
that-
very real feeling movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there was no problems with the way it was shot or anything like that. It was,
I love some of the shots and the gritty shots in it.
Yeah.
There was some really nice, gritty, true crime feel to the shots, especially of her
yeah.
on the grass, and that was
Yeah,
just
it
awesome.
felt very real and grounded, unlike most of the movies we watch on the show.
Except for every moment Crispin Glover's talking.
Yeah, well, Crispin Glover was just Crispin Glover.
Some of his lines.
Oh, his lines are so great. Come out of the house, bring all your money.
He's got the big arm movements.
He's just, oh yeah, he's just doing the thing. He's pointing at his.
There's a bit where he goes into Feck's house looking for him, and the camera stays stationary in what looks like the garage. He runs through, runs back past the camera, and then just runs into the wall. He like jumps at the door. So clearly he was just being him.
Yeah.
No direction, just. Yeah.
No, yeah, they let him go full Crispin Glover.
We should also mention the kid was in Near Dark,
Yeah.
and the boyfriend, Jim, the
Yeah.
boyfriend, was in Halloween 2.
Yes.
So even though you got the main cast, which is awesome, you've also got a couple of nice cameos in there.
Yeah. Like the guy that played the killer is in 3 from Hell. He's been in a bunch of things.
He was the detective
yeah.
in Final Destination
Yes.
after the plane blew up.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves was in The Matrix and John Wick.
Oh,
John what
I didn't
now?
know that.
John Wick.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
It's an alright movie.
Okay, guys, I guess. Yeah, thanks. Would you recommend it, JP?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. It's slow paced, but enjoyable, and just I was curious. It had so many moving pieces on the board of these different groups. How is it all going to wrap up? And it wasn't really like a giant climactic action battle final scene or something, but it's just how is this going to end?
Yeah.
It kept me guessing till the very end.
Absolutely, I'm probably going to buy it today.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, as soon as we're done this, I'm going to go see where I can get a copy of it. Would love a Shout Factory edition if they have one. If they don't, I just want to say that The film was really well made, and the entire cast was awesome. They really were. They really carried it. None of them had any problems. Like, they were just awesome.
I would recommend it to certain people and not to others, just because I know it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Good point.
I definitely really enjoyed it. I'm not totally sure where you can find it, if it's streaming anywhere or anything like that. I don't have any of that information.
Hang on Amazon.
I thought I saw it on maybe Netflix.
Really?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Maybe it
yes,
could
Amazon
be.
Prime, if any.
Yeah, Amazon Prime, maybe.
But it's not.
It's not?
I've checked.
Oh, you checked. Okay, so...
Tubi TV.
yeah, probably. It's somewhere out there. Go check it out. Okay, well, before we wrap this up, why don't we give some plugs?
You guys, since we've been away for so long, you should go back and take a look at our other features, episodes of Real Metal. I think it's 2021 we're up to now, something like that.
Yeah,
so if you like what you see today, go check out our back episodes over the past few years. If you're a new fan of the show, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's really great. We do have some new viewers in the UK right now who have been sending me messages about, who are actually friends, who have been sending me messages about it and really enjoying it. So, yeah, we want to try and get back into this after a tumultuous last year, and we'd love to carry on. Me and James are recording again together too.
Yes.
Because, yeah, buddy. And he's got a new band. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell them about the new band.
My new band's called Bread Shifted, and we play thrashy death metal. And we have an album called Masks, or an EP called Masks, and you can find it on any streaming site. But you can also find Gales of Avalon music on almost any streaming site too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even TikTok now, for some reason, I don't exactly know why. I'm too old to know.
Is that like a Salt and Pepper song?
My wife has this TikTok thing, and I glanced at her phone, it buzzed, and I said, "Your phone is telling you that it loves you. Like, is this your new boyfriend or something?" She's like, "No, it's just TikTok." I'm like, "What the hell? Like, speak English. What are you talking about?"
It's just TikTok.
It's not your new...
Is that your new boyfriend? He's bigger than me? TikTok sounds like he's bigger than me.
Speak English. Old man yells at a cloud.
So if you're not an old man, why don't you explain to us what TikTok is? Because apparently music I wrote is streaming on it for some reason. I don't know why. I thought it was just little short clips of video. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like and share button, and we'll be back with a new episode really soon.
Alright.